This is Samuel from Animal.
Hey, this is Krista from Utharo.
This is Taylor Washington from Paladin.
Hi, this is Cheney Crab from Entheos.
This is Adam Armstrong with Oak, Ash, and Thorn, and you're listening to The Great Metal Debate.
Welcome back, listeners, to the Metal Debate Podcast, bringing you another amazing metal artist interview. Today, I'm joined by Eric from U.S. Pagan Metal Posse, Helsott. Eric, thanks so much for coming on the Great Metal Debate.
Thank you for having me.
So we're recording this interview in Chicago, Illinois, the final night of your all's tour with Arkona after a number of weeks on the road. How's your energy level? And does ending a tour like this, what part sadness and what part excitement about getting back home?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you nailed it right there. We're all pretty tired. I'm especially tour exhausted on this one. I attended the 70,000 Tons of Metal cruise and then flew straight from Florida to Texas to start this tour. And I partied hard for the whole thing, as you usually do. So I definitely don't recommend doing that and then starting a tour. I highly recommend you don't do that. So even though it's like this was pretty much a short run for us, I feel like I've been on the road for over a month already. It's just my body's worn out, and it's a van tour, it's not a bus tour, so we're all like cramped in the van together, and old school style, and that's never good on your body or whatever. So we're all excited to get home, but it's bittersweet because we're gonna miss Arkona. But this was our third time touring with Arkona, so I highly doubt this will be the last time touring with Arkona.
Awesome. Well, I have to ask about the 70,000 tons experience. Was that your first time going there? Are you a repeat attendee?
I am definitely a repeat offender. That was my 13th time.
Oh, dude.
And it's just besides Vakken, and the sheer grasp of Vakken and all that stuff, I think 70,000 Tons of Metal is just the best festival. It's got the best bands, always world class, and you got your own shower, your own toilet, your own bed. The stages are just 5 minutes apart from each other. I hang out in the hot tubs, soak my bones, listen to heavy metal, drink a shitload of alcohol. And to me, it's the best. And plus, you get to go somewhere in the Caribbean, for 4 or 5 hours if you're, not passed out or whatever, or actually care about where you're going. There's been a couple of places like Cozumel, Mexico, where I just stayed on the boat, which was awesome because while everyone else was out in Mexico, I just went to sleep and actually got some sleep that year. And I always tell everyone, I was like, that's the year I got some sleep.
So are you one of those fans who maps out their schedule with precision on an Excel document, or are you just kind of I think this band's playing this time, I might hang out there, I might not?
Well, it started that way for sure, but what you don't realize with the boat is everywhere there is a party, and if you think you're gonna go somewhere, you might not end up there anyway. And each band plays twice, so the most mapping out I do now is I'm not really fond of the small lounge stage. You can't really see anything in there, so unless it's a band that I've never seen before, which is that's rare because I've been doing this a long time. I usually just avoid that stage. So if one of the bands I want to see is playing there, I'll make sure to map out. Don't miss their pool decks or don't miss the theater or whatever, And even then, sometimes you find a party, and it's like a family reunion. So you got your friends on there, plus all the bands that you've played with and toured with over the years. It's it's just one hell of a party, man. So I used to be that guy, but I'm not anymore because I know that it's just wasting time because you never know where you're going to end up.
Well, one more question, then we'll move on from that. But I am curious, as someone who's a veteran there, do you see some folks who are first-timers who they just lay it all out that first day and they are regretting it? They can't hold up by that third or fourth day?
Oh, yeah, it happens every year. We call it 70,000 tons of naps. You find people just pass out anywhere, like in chairs on the pool deck, in the elevator, and you see that all the veterans and all that. We snap a picture and send it to our group, said 70,000 tons of naps. And, but also the first timers, man, that's like the energy, so I remember what it was like my first time.
Sure.
And now it's just like, I'm back on the boat. It's like, I get excited for sure, but not like that first year. First year, I saw every band. I didn't sleep. I ran around like crazy, and I just tore that boat up, and did karaoke with like members of Therion, Moon Sorrow, Cannibal Corpse, and just like I was, in the middle of the night, just going, I'm never not going on this boat again, and now it's just kind of like it's boat time, it's my wife gets one vacation a year, and she holds the fort down with the kids while I go on tour, and so I get to go all over the place, and she doesn't. So every year it's like, well, what do you want to do for your one vacation? And she goes 70,000 tons of metal. I'm like, fuck yes.
That's pretty nice. So back to the current tour, which might not be quite as exciting as 70,000 tons, but what has been the response as far as fans and your all's appearances on the road with Arkona?
Everything's been great. It's kind of a smaller turnout than we're used to. I think last time we toured with Arkona was like with Corporate Colony, and the other time was with Haida Volk. So it's just a 2-band package this time. So it's a little bit smaller, more intimate, which is fine with me. And even some of the really, really smaller shows, we've killed it on merch sales. Awesome. Everyone wants pictures and hugs and kisses and autographs and all that. Everyone's like knows Arkona and all that stuff. We've been around for a long time. We've toured with Arkona before, and yet every night after night after night, people come up and say, I never heard of Helsott. Like, how long have you guys been around? I'm like, 16 years, and they're like, what? So we're getting new fans, and that's important. We haven't toured the U.S. properly since before COVID.
Right.
And then we've been focusing on Europe and killing it over there, and that really, I think it helped the band mesh well together and like get that European experience, and now we're just unleashing it on the U.S.
Kind of low-hanging fruit here forever.
We're a lot like a party tavern type Viking pagan metal band, like that, but a lot of people sing about battles and all that stuff, and we sing about like death and glory and mostly drinking. And so we want the crowd to have a good time, and we work really hard to make sure they do.
That's awesome. And you alluded to your relationship with the folks in Arkona, multiple tours together. How important is that, especially a band who, although they're experienced touring the U.S., they're still not natives here, and just the relationship and maybe trust factor on the road to be going out and working hand in hand?
Well, yeah, exactly. The trust is what you said. I mean, like on this tour, Arkona is using our drum set, so they'll be using the next band's drum set, who I'm actually friends with, and they're on the record label I work for. So I helped hook them up with the other half of this tour, and I know they have a good drum set and they have a good work ethic. So they need that trust, they need that support when they're over here. They're pretty much self-contained as far as their setup goes. They just need drums, when they're flying over here, and we've toured with them so many times, and like a lot of times when you're in like the green room or something like that, and you're with a band you're not really familiar with, you end up taking your shit with you to the van, or you like if you want to get up and leave, you take your stuff with you and all that stuff. But with someone like Arkona, they know they can leave their they can leave their stuff whatever they want, and I'll watch it, take care of it. Same thing with the merch tables and stuff like that. It's if anything really happens, they know that we have their back, and we know they have our back. But there is a language barrier, and that's always fun to have a few vodkas and beers and try to understand each other and all that. But they're a really quiet and reserved band, and we're not. And I think that yin and yang really works well.
odd couple of metal tour, sounds like. Now, since this is the first time we've had you on the podcast, Eric, do you mind giving us the thumbnail sketch of how Helsott came to be?
Yeah, sure, no problem. I used to play drums, and I was injured, had a really bad back injury, and was told I couldn't really drum. And then I tried anyway, rehab myself, and yeah, I can drum a little, but not like I used to. And I couldn't just stop playing metal music. So I said, I'm going to be a singer, because that's, it's a little easier on the back and all that stuff. So me and my brother formed Helsott, like as soon as I could rehab and all that. And my other older brother, Richard, played bass for us for a little while. So it was like, the Dow trio was like the nucleus of the band. And then we got a keyboard player and drummer and all that. And that's how it started. And, our first gig was with Suidacher from Germany. Our second gig was with Elvady from Switzerland.
Same.
And then we were playing with like God Hates Us, or not God Hates Us, was it Goat Horror? Goat Horror was like our third fucking show. And
damn.
Yeah, I mean,
so right off the bat, you guys were interacting with some veterans, experienced folks.
And
did that really shape how you guys approached your performance?
Oh, absolutely. Because before as a drummer, and like I think Michael Schenker, and it was like the biggest kind of gig we would ever do, and nobody would talk to anybody. We'd always play in small clubs and stuff like that. Yeah. And to just be right off the bat as a front man, playing in front of hundreds of people, and with world-class bands, with world-class agents, with world-class tour managers, at the bigger venues, the more professional venues. It was like a really slam-fast crash course, and hey, you noobs, this is how it's really done. And so we just kind of buckled up and held on for the ride, and by the end of the first year, we were already opening up for like Nevermore and Epica, and like huge, like 600 people, and like it was a very, very good learning experience. And I think that's helped us grow to where we are today, where we're one of those bands that just go up on stage and tear it the fuck up.
And you're mentioning a number of European bands. From day one, did you guys kind of have your sights set on Europe as a natural fit for your sound and approach?
Yeah, absolutely. But we wanted to, like, we're big like Pantera fans, bluesy guitar like Motley Crue, and obviously Metallica and Iron Maiden and all that stuff. So like we wanted to blend all that, the music that we listen to and like, with thrash and American music, and I think it created this kind of unique thrashy folk metal thing, pagan metal, whatever you want to call it. But I think it's unique in its own way, and
some mellow death elements in there as well. I mean,
people say black metal. I mean, like, I don't know. It's like, and yeah, we really had our sights set on playing with all those bands, but being different than them.
And early on, did that cause any issues as far as folks saying, "Hey, I want to put you in a box, and you guys don't fit"? Was there ever a tension there where maybe someone was, record label, whoever was pressuring you to go in a certain direction?
Yeah, I mean, from day one, really, it's like we always kind of get put in a box. And our agent actually caught us in at the Whiskey on this tour. I mean, we've known him for a long time, but he's usually always busy and only can catch one song here or there. And he finally was able to catch the whole set. And he's like, "Oh, I get it. I can put you." He's like, "I can put you with this band and this band, and you can fit with this band." Like before, it was just like pigeonholed with pagan metal bands.
Yeah,
but
which is a fit. But I think you guys can match out, like you mentioned Epica earlier. I can see that being a good fit.
We've opened for Hammerfall, we've opened for Evergrey, we've opened for Sonata Arctica, we've opened for Dark Funeral, we've opened for Deicide, Karakonga. I mean, Nile, like I can name all the whole spectrum from metal,
pantheon of metal.
I mean, Death Angel, the old school thrash and all that stuff. It's like, and we fit every time. There's not really been too many shows where the crowd's like, "The hell are these guys doing here?"
Sure.
In a bad way. That's more great. It's like, "What the hell is that? That's great," and I really pride myself on that.
Awesome. You guys have 3 albums released. Your latest, Will and the Witch, back in 2022. That one represented a significant change for you guys, at least lyrically, with the Wild West theme, whereas before you guys had been more ancient mythology.
Yeah.
Were you happy with how those songs turned out? And then can you imagine for future releases maybe going in even more esoteric directions, space opera, or kind of what are the limits that you see for the directions your music can take?
No limits, and I pride myself on that too. And we, out of all of our catalog, I think we have 7 or 8 Viking songs, and we just get pigeonholed as a Viking metal band. But we got like ancient Greek, songs. We got Egyptian songs. We got all, and I wanted to keep the Will and the Witch thing a little like a pagan, and so I did it like American pagan. We had voodoo in there, and then Native American shamanism and stuff like that, which is still pagan. You can't pigeonhole pagan, and I really enjoyed writing the story, and I really enjoyed writing the music, and I'm most proud of that record so far. That's my favorite record we've done. A lot of the music we've done in the past, I record it, and you have to hear it a million times while you're mixing and mastering it, and then I never hear it again. I don't want to hear it again.
Really?
And Will and the Witch is an album where if it comes on in the car, or my wife or kids are listening to or whatever, I'm fine with it, because I really am proud of that record from top to bottom, basically.
I like your first 2 albums. I will say I think Will and the Witch sounds the best, just from a mixing and mastering standpoint. It's just very clean and bright. So is that a piece of it as well, that you just have advanced in your craft as far as knowing how to record?
Yeah, absolutely. And our engineer, mixing and mastering engineer, JF from Cataclysm.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's been our guy since The Healer, and we even had him remaster Woven, because so he's been on the team now for 10 some odd years, and he grows in his craft just as much as we grow. And there's always an open conversation with him. There's never a stupid question. We look up to him big time, and so we listen to what he has to say. And he's actually a fan of Helsott. That helps, so he wants us to sound better. And so yeah, we've grown together, we've learned together, and every time, it's cool, it's just a coincidence, but every time he bought a new toy or whatever for his studio, Helsott was like the first band that he got to use it on. And so yeah, he's always stoked with that. And
willing guinea pigs.
Oh, totally. And the Will and the Witch, he actually sent us his patches. He gave us all, so we did everything on like MIDI, like the backing tracks and all that stuff, and besides the actual flutes and stuff that was recorded, like the real instruments, but all the orchestrations, in the past they were like real 80s synthy, which I wanted that tone and all, like the but this one is like really world-class orchestrational sounds, because it's really expensive patches, and he just, here, use them.
Damn.
And so a lot of that, that brightness that you're hearing and all that stuff, and the clarity and all that, it's because of JF, because he's on our team.
That's awesome. And you can hear it in that album. You guys are slated to perform in June in Wisconsin at the Mad with Power Fest. I think that's one of the best festivals in the U.S. How excited are you guys for that opportunity?
I guess words can't even describe how fucking excited we are with this one. Mar from there is actually in here. I'm going to meet him for the first time.
Oh, cool.
So as soon as this interview is over, looking forward to that. I've always wanted to play those kind of festivals. Again, they're more power metal, but this year they have the bands like this, Vintage Sea, and that band from Texas, I forget the name. They're really like doomy death metal and all that stuff. So it's like really excited.
Again, I think you guys, your sound is you won't sound out of place coming on after a power metal band.
Thank you, and we'll tweak the set to make sure. You know what I mean? And maybe we won't play the super long doomy gloomy stuff, or maybe we will. Who knows? But yeah, we can always tweak our set if we want to, and we're looking forward to. We haven't been to Wisconsin in like 10 or 12 years or something like that, so we're really excited to return there. We love cheese, and so we're definitely ready for the cheese curds, and we're all video game nerds.
Oh, perfect.
So we're gonna play that. I mean, this festival is basically just perfect for Helsott. We can't be happier, and we're excited to be playing it. And I've never been, so it's the first time. And there's a lot of things I've done, in the past 16 years. So when I get a first time, I get excited about it.
That's sweet, and you're gonna have a great time. So, beginning to wrap up with you, what are the band's plans besides Bandwidth Power for the remainder of the year, and when can fans expect the follow-up to Will and the Witch?
When we write it.
Gotcha.
This is a whole new lineup. Basically, only Pete and I were in the band for Will and the Witch. So it's we've got plenty of riffs and different ideas. We're actually just listening to them on the drive here, and it's gonna come easy and natural. But I'm not gonna rush anything because obviously I'm not gonna rush it. I already haven't rushed it. This is our first album in a long time that we're not contracted. We're free agents. We can go back to M Theory if we want, and we probably do want to, but we'll shop it around. But I don't have a deadline looming over my shoulders for the first time, so I'm not going to release something that I don't think is stellar,
right?
Because that's how proud of Will and the Witch I am. Like, I can't just release something that is subpar to Will and the Witch. And I really think, just like most of our other albums with this band and lineup, it's gonna sound different. I'll make sure it's Helsott. I'll make sure of that.
Yeah.
But sonically, and we already have the theme. We already have the album cover done. Like, I think very far ahead of like Will and the Witch. It was like 6 years in my head trying to get that out.
Really?
Yeah, I had already thought of Will and the Witch before Slaves and Gods.
Huh.
It just wasn't the right time.
Yeah.
So, Slaves and Gods is a whole nother story and shit show that happened. When we did Slaves and Gods, we went to the studio and our two guitar players quit day one. They didn't even show up. So we had the drums up and they texted us, we quit. And we're taking our songs. Like, they only had like one or two songs, and I wasn't even really that big of a fan of their songs to begin with, so really it just it sucked because we had that deadline that we'd already paid for the studio. So me and my drummer at the time, we just recorded some old songs that hadn't been recorded yet. We re-recorded Honor Thy Valkyrie, and then we had the songs that me and him wrote, and we did, and then we just wrote right there on the spot in the studio just some drum parts and put them together, and we called all our friends for help. That's where you get like A Winter Smells Like Death is on there, which is a total collaboration between Helsott and Arkona. All we did was send Arkona drums, and Masha and Sergey wrote the music to keyboards and her part of the vocals. I came up with the concept lyrically, so it's like they're Russians and I'm the English, Christian guys coming to raid them and all that stuff. So like, they sing all in Russian, I sing it all in English, and it works thematically where the Christians invaded during winter and they got their asses kicked by the Rus and fled, but they came back in the spring and defeated them. So winter smells like death, but spring will taste like blood. And Trollfest, guys from Heidevel, Kevin Storm, the Elven King guys sang on it and did violin, and he did violin on Will and the Witch for us too. Like, it was really just like a worldwide pagan community of friends coming together and saving Helsott's ass.
I would like to. Man, That's great to be part of a community where you can rely on others to support your dream coming true.
Exactly. And, you know, you can hear the angst on that album, and you can hear the difference of it. And, like, it's not a well put together, it's a clusterfuck is what it is. And it's endearing to me because I know what I went through to get it done. And, you know, proud of the people that helped me do it and all that stuff. So, you know, Will and the Witch isn't that. You know, we had time to write it. We had a centralized story. It's all Western. It's all this theme, you know. It's not all over the place. Right. And I think that really helped make that record stand out too, because, you know, we were actually focused for 1 minute instead of squirrel.
And that's the plan for the next one as well.
Yeah, it's focused. And all of my band members now live in San Diego. I live about an hour and a half north of them. So they're all doing most of the writing and all that. And I'm getting ready for lyrics. I've already written, I don't know, like 12 or 13 ideas down. Most of them are finished. Most of them can't finish them until the music comes and we tweak it around and stuff like that. But we already got the cover and what our costumes are going to be like and the next whole thematic thing, you know. And I'm really excited for the future.
So no timeline, but it does sound like there's a lot for fans to be excited about. That's awesome. Final question for you, Eric. What is the best way for fans to purchase music and merchandise from Helsott, including your most recent album, Will and the Witch?
You can either go to mtheoryaudio.com/store or Bandcamp. M Theory Audio's Bandcamp, or Helsott's Bandcamp is linked to it as well. And that's the best place to check us out. We're all over, you know, Spotify and wherever you're supposed to be with the whole media bullshit online and all that. But if you're like me and you want physical product, just hit up mtheoryaudio.com/store.
Check you guys out at Mad with Powerfest this year, and there might be a few other dates as well. Just check you guys out online to check for those, because that's probably the best way is to purchase it from you directly at the merch booth.
Absolutely, because we're traveling shirt and CD salesmen. So, and we like meeting you. We want to say hi. We want to drink a beer with you. We want to shake our hands and all that stuff. So,
well, I'm definitely going to get something from you guys at the merch booth tonight. And man, excited to see you all perform, and best of luck headed back home after this night.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.